Here's an invitation to radio's most dramatic half hour. Favorite Story. Bullock's in downtown Los Angeles, one of America's great stores, proudly originates this radio program for the nation. Favorite Story. And here to introduce tonight's story is one of Hollywood's favorite leading men. You've seen him in a score of pictures, most recently in MGM's The Hucksters. Frank Albertson.
Thank you, Lyle. The prize-winning play on Favorite Story last year was Fitzjames O'Brien's The Diamond Lens. So we were mighty pleased when Lawrence Melchior picked as his favorite story another yarn by Fitzjames O'Brien. Mr. Melchior, you know, is not only a great opera star, but he's a box office favorite in the movies as well. He is currently starred with Esther Williams and Jimmy Durante in Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Technicolor musical, This Time for Keeps. Well, Lawrence Melchior picked a real weirdie for you. Fitzjames O'Brien's The Golden Ingot. Morris Karnofsky, Gene Bates, and I will do the story for you. If you've seen any of the group theater productions on Broadway or the work of the Actors Lab in Hollywood, you know Mr. Karnofsky is one of the great actors of the American theater.
Here's Act One of Lawrence Melchior's favorite story, Fitzjames O'Brien's The Golden Ingot, starring Morris Karnofsky, Frank Albertson, and Gene Bates.
It was raining that night, the kind of cold rain you get in New York in an undecided December. I was just turning down the gas lights in my quarters. It was a night to be indoors, safe from the rain and the cold and the black. I smiled. Outside, I heard my brand new shingle creaking in the wind. The shingle whose newly painted letters proclaimed so proudly, Dr. William Luxor, physician and surgeon. Yes, who's there?
Quickly, Doctor. Let me in. Oh, Doctor, you must come with me at once.
My dear young lady, you're soaked to the skin. Come in, come in. Now, what's the trouble?
My father is met with a severe accident. He needs a doctor right away. Please hurry.
Well, how was your father hurt?
An explosion.
An explosion?
Oh, hurry. He's hurt very badly.
Is he working in some factory?
No, sir. No, sir. He's a chemist.
A chemist? Why, he's a brother professional. Just a moment. I'll slip on my coat and go with you. Do you live far from here?
On 7th Avenue, just a few blocks from the end of the street.
Did you leave anybody with your father?
No, sir. He won't allow anybody but me to enter his laboratory. But don't ask me questions. Please hurry. He may be dead by this time. We started through the rain-drenched streets. This girl, half woman, half child, had the loveliest face I had ever seen. And yet, her clothes were in tatters. Her shoes were filled with holes. She hurried ahead of me, shivering. The rain beat against our faces. We stopped before a shabby, old-fashioned tenement house not far above 23rd Street. The girl pushed open a door, and we climbed several flights of stairs. Nervously, she unlocked the door and... I found myself in the strangest room I had ever seen. It was half laboratory, half living quarters. A French chafing dish on an iron tripod had been overturned. The charcoal, still warm, was scattered all over the floor. Crucibles and retorts were piled in the corners. On a table, I saw a number of mineral and metallic substances I recognized. Antimony, mercury, plumbago, arsenic, borax, and several rare, unusual elements I could not name at a glance. All the apparatus had the air of being second-hand. There was no luster, no highly polished metals, no shiny glass.
the kind you find in a prosperous laboratory. The crucibles were broken and the floor was littered with glass. There is nothing more melancholy than to behold science or art in distress. It was like seeing a great violinist with a battered violin. In one corner, stretched motionless on a wretched couch, I saw a silent figure.
There he is. Is he dead? I can't look.
My friend, are you all right? Where are you hurt?
Who are you? Who brought you here? How dare you come to my laboratory to spy on me?
You're quite badly hurt, my friend. I'm a doctor.
A physician?
A surgeon also. Why, you're badly burned, my friend.
You're bound by oath not to reveal the secrets of your patients?
Yes, of course.
I'm afraid that I'm hurt.
Here, now. Let me... These are quite serious burns. You must not leave your bed. Your arms, your chest, and most of your face are badly scorched.
You will not reveal anything you see here?
No. Now let me put some ointment on your burns.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Promise me.
Oh, no, of course. Just now, relax.
I'll trust you. I'll pay you well. Handsomely, richly, riches beyond your knowledge.
You must keep quiet. I'll leave a sedative with your daughter, and I'll see you again in the morning.
Thank you, Doctor. My daughter. You've seen her? When? Where? 1,000 curses on my...
Oh, please, Father, don't curse me again. Please, you're ill. I'll do anything you say, but rest, as the doctor says.
You ungrateful, unfeeling girl. Doctor, you see there the most vile of children. Because of her, I am the most unhappy man on earth.
Please, sir, you are in dangerous condition.
There she is. There. I must tell someone. Doctor, I have your oath. An oath is a sacred thing with a doctor. With any kind of scientist, I know this, for I am a scientist, too.
My dear sir, you must...
Listen to me. Listen to my story. I am an alchemist.
Alchemist?
Yes. Since I was 22 years old, I have pursued this wonderful and subtle secret. To unfold the mysterious rose, guarded with such terrible thorns. To decipher the wondrous table of the emerald. To accomplish the mystic nuptials of the Red King and the White Queen. To marry them soul to soul and body to body forever and ever in the exact proportions of land and water. That was my aim. And I did it. I alone of this generation have accomplished it.
You're very sick, my friend. I must insist upon your remaining...
2 years ago, I solved the great problem. I transmuted baser metals into gold. No one but myself, that girl, and God know the privations I'd suffered up to that time. I sacrificed everything, food, clothing, air, exercise, everything but shelter toward the one great end. And I succeeded. Nicholas Flamel did it in 1382. George Ripley did it at Rhodes in 1460. Alexander Seton and Michael Scutivogis did it in the 17th century, but I did it in our time. I made gold here, in this room, in my crucibles. I manufactured gold.
Sir, I cannot be accountable for your well-being if you don't rest. I beg you to lie back.
I can see that you doubt me. You think I'm a crazy old man.
Do as the doctor says, Father.
If you dare interrupt me, it was this girl. Day after day, I gave this girl what I succeeded in fabricating. Each day, I was able to make only a little ingot, worth perhaps $30 to $45. I told her to save it for me. We lived as poorly as ever, but I thought the child was merely being thrifty. For 2 years, I did this. And at this time, I calculated I had made 500 of these ingots. At $30 apiece, that would amount to $15,000. Yet, after all that time, when I asked my daughter for an ingot of gold, she burst into tears and said that it had all been stolen from her. No other explanation, mind you, just tears and this wild story.
Father.
Perhaps the story is true.
No. She's some sort of female miser or gambler who robs her old father of the gold he makes.
Oh, I can't believe that. She looks so innocent.
She deceives you as she did me. No, let me go on. I went back to work at my crucible. with redoubled energy. I made an ingot of gold every second day. I determined this time to put them in some secure place myself. But the very first day I set my apparatus in order, the girl, Marion, that's my daughter's name, she came weeping to me, begging me to allow her to take care of the treasure. I refused, but she persisted. She clung to my neck. She threatened to leave me. In short, she used all the tricks known to women. So, finally, I did not have the heart to refuse her. Since that time, she's continued to take the golden ingots. Look around you. Look at the way we live. We don't have enough food. Our clothes are rags. The rent of this hole is a mere nothing. What does this girl do with all the gold?
Tell me, sir, what is your name?
My name, William Blakelock. I come of an old Saxon stock, sir, that bred true men and women in former days. How did it ever come to pass that a girl like that one ever sprung from our line?
Perhaps you're mistaken about your daughter. Delusions regarding alchemy used to be very common.
What, sir, you still doubt? You doubt that I have manufactured gold here in this room? I'll give you proof. I'll pay you with one of my ingots, and you shall take care of me until I'm well. Marion, get me an ingot.
Father.
Get me an ingot, I say. Obey me, or I swear I'll place my curse upon you forever.
Doctor.
Get an ingot.
Very well.
What have I done to deserve such a child?
Mr. Blakelock, unless you remain in bed, unless you calm down, I cannot be responsible for your well-being.
Well, give it to him.
Oh, please,
You see? You see how reluctantly she parts with it. Take it, sir. It's yours. I believe. Oh, yes. That's one that I made just before the unfortunate explosion.
Oh, it looks like gold.
Now, do you doubt its genuineness? There are acids on the table. Test it.
All right. It seems to be gold of the highest purity.
You're surprised, huh? Well, that's natural.
But, Mr. Blakelock, I can't take this gold. I have no right to it. I can't charge you so large a fee.
Take it. There are plenty more. Your fee will amount to that before I'm well.
I bid you good night, then, Mr. Blakelock, and I urge you again not to leave your bed.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Doctor, please listen to me.
What do you want?
Keep your voice down. If you have any compassion in your heart, I beg you, give me back that gold ingot.
Oh, it's true, then. You're as mercenary as your father said you were.
Lord, Please give it to me. My life depends on it.
Here, take it. I wouldn't touch gold that comes from the same house where you live.
Oh, Doctor, if you knew. Someday perhaps I shall tell you the whole story. The most tragic story in the world.
In a moment, Act 2 of Lord Smelchior's favorite story, Fitzjames O'Brien's The Golden Ingot. To make your holiday shopping easier this year, Bullock's Home Store in downtown Los Angeles offers an important suggestion. Make your principal purchase a family gift, one that every member can enjoy. Whatever your choice, you will always be right with a gift for the home. It's useful, it lasts the whole year long, and it's appreciated by family and friends alike. Christmas shopping at Bullock's is an especially delightful experience, for the whole store is sparkling with gift suggestions. Perhaps you thought of new linens or bedding or towels. Bullock's has them all in endless abundance. Abundant, too, are the choices offered you in gift tables, radios, records, and antiques. Or if it's imported gifts you're seeking, you'll be delighted with the new stock of foreign merchandise that has come in from all over the world: Europe, Asia, South America. Crystalware, porcelains and chinaware, quaint figurines, copper and pewter bowls and trays, gifts that will harmonize with any type of home. Gifts for the home are especially appropriate at Christmas time, for above all, Christmas is a home holiday. Perhaps to you, the season suggests home needs in furniture, lamps, or fireplace equipment. Whatever the need, whatever the family taste, you'll find the ideal gift for the home at Bullock's. This complete gift service is one more reason why Bullock's in downtown Los Angeles is home furnishers to Southern California. We continue with Act Two of Lawrence Melchior's favorite story, The Golden Ingot by Fitzjames O'Brien, dramatized and directed by Jerome Lawrence and Robert E. Lee, and starring Morris Karnofsky, Frank Albertson, and Gene Bates.
I stood at the open window of my bedroom and let the cold wind blow against my face. The wind and the damp of the air rising from the wet streets helped to clear my brain. What I had seen this night was nothing which belonged to New York City in this modern century. I felt as if I had the dust of the past on my shoes, and this adventure with Blakelock, the alchemist, had slipped me back through 500 years to the doorstep of the Dark Ages.
Dr. Luxor! Dr. Luxor!
Yes?
Oh, Doctor, forgive me for coming to you again so late, but my father is out of bed, working over his crucifix. Will it kill him?
It would be far better if he kept quiet. Well, come in, out of the rain.
I beg him to rest, but he only laughs at me. If anything happens to him, I shall die. You have no idea how I love my father.
Then why do you make him so miserable?
I tried to save him. It was for the sake of my poor father that I began to deceive him.
What have you done? How have you deceived him?
Doctor, my father has told you his side of the story. How he worked for years in his laboratory. But every experiment ended in failure. Bending over his retorts and his Bunsen burners, he grew weaker every day. I realized, Doctor, that he was on the verge of the grave. If his mind wasn't relieved, I knew my father would die. Do you know how we managed to live through all these years?
How?
By my needle. I've done sewing to pay for our food and shelter. It was very hard work, but I did it. I do it still.
But your father, he succeeded in making...
He succeeded in nothing.
Well, he has made gold. I've seen it. I've weighed it in my hand. I've tested it with acids. I know it's gold. Well, you're merely a child. You don't understand what your father's accomplished. The ingot he gave me was purest gold.
Yes, it was purest gold. But my father did not make it in his test tubes. Hear the rest of my story, Doctor.
Go on.
I knew my father was dying of disappointment. I had to save him. I put away every penny I could find and hid it in the old sugar bag underneath my pillow. I took extra needlework. I went without eating. But the little bag of money grew so slowly. Oh, so slowly.
You'd better go home. It's late at night, and I'm not...
No, you must hear me out. My father was getting more pale, more despondent every day. I knew I had very little time. So I started to sell what few possessions I had. A few tattered old books, the doll that I used to love so when I was a little girl, and all the little trinkets that you saved from childhood. I sold them. Doctor, I even sold my shoes.
Your shoes?
And when my little sugar bag had $35 in it, I bought a lump of gold.
Oh.
A piece of pure gold, Doctor. And when my father was sleeping restlessly on his couch, I melted that bit of gold in the crucible with which he'd been experimenting. Oh, I'll never forget the joy on my father's face the next morning when he emptied his crucible and found a deposit of pure gold at the bottom. I'll never forget how he called to me, how he...
Marion, my child, it's happened. I've done it. I've succeeded.
What is it, Father? What's happened?
Marion, child, no, you shall see it for yourself. Look in the bottom of this crucible. Don't be afraid. What do you see there?
Why, it's yellow and shining. It looks like...
Gold! It is gold, Marion. Gold of the highest purity. You didn't think I'd ever be able to do it, did you? You thought your old father was nothing but a crazy crackpot.
I've always had faith in you, Father.
Last night I knew I was on the right track. It's the combination of antimony and salamoniac. That's what does it. But the temperatures must be exactly right, and it takes time.
Yes, Father.
You know what this means, child. No more scrimping, no more saving candle stubs and bread crusts. We're rich as the Medicis, richer if we like.
There's color in your face again, Father.
Why not? Pale cheeks go with failure, despondency. No more of that for us. William Blakelock is a name that will go down with honor in the archives of American science. William Blakelock, the man who made gold.
So, the whole thing is a fraud.
Oh, Doctor, don't you understand why I did it? My father would have died of discouragement.
But you deceived him.
Yes, I deceived him to save his life. Again and again, I'd slipped the little ingot, the little golden ingot, into my father's crucible while he was out of the laboratory. And each time, I begged him to give it to me. For safekeeping, I said.
Then you would put the self-same ingot back into his crucible, and he would think that he'd succeeded again.
Oh, he was happy, poor man. He thought he was amassing a fortune. All this time I was supporting us with my needle and thread. And then came that terrible day when he asked me for our savings. And I realized what
Marion, you've been making these golden ingots every day for 15 months now.
Yes, Father.
Then we must have, $15,000 in gold stored away, child. And still we live in this ugly old house and wear the same worn-out clothes. Now it's time we enjoyed some of our riches. Marion, bring me half a dozen of the ingots. I'm going to buy you some beautiful new clothes.
No.
But you deserve some little luxuries, child. You've been so faithful to your old father in his time of poverty. Now you mustn't hesitate to share the wealth we found together. Bring me some of the ingots you've been storing away.
I don't have any ingots.
Oh? Oh, you've already converted them into currency. Very wise, my child. Well, surely we can afford to spend $100 without any qualms of conscience.
There is no money.
No money? No gold? What's become of it? What have you done with our fortune?
It was stolen.
When? How? Why didn't you tell me?
Well,
I've entrusted you with a fortune, a treasure in gold. Give me some account of it.
I can't tell you why there isn't any gold.
Have you stolen from me?
Never.
Stolen from your own father? Are you a liar, a cheat, a gambler? Is that how you've lost it?
Oh, don't say such things.
Don't lie to me. Where have you hidden all the ingots?
I don't know.
1,000 curses on your head.
Don't curse me, please, Father.
I shall curse you every day of your life until you return the golden ingots you've stolen from me.
Is this the truth?
Yes, Dr. Luxor. I swear it.
Then I beg your forgiveness, Marion, for misjudging you. You've made a great sacrifice.
I'll do anything, Doctor, to protect my father's happiness.
You've already done too much. This deception must be stopped. We'll go to him tonight, this very minute, and we'll put an end to this hypocrisy.
Who is this? Go away. Go away, I'm at work. Go away.
Mr. Blakelock, you should not be out of bed. I cannot be accountable for your health unless you take care of yourself.
I cannot allow a little physical pain to interrupt my great work.
Father, do as the doctor says.
Get out of my laboratory, you ungrateful child, you thief. Don't plague me. You're just in time, Doctor. In a few moments, the marriage of the Red King and the White Queen will be accomplished. Yes, Doctor. Within the next minute, you'll see me make pure, red, shining gold.
Tell him, Marion. Tell him.
Father, I want your forgiveness.
Well, what? Are you going to give me back what you've stolen?
I've been deceiving you for 2 years.
I knew it. You've concealed my $15,000 all this time. Now you're going to restore it, eh? Very well, Marion. I'll forgive you. What have you done with it?
Mr. Blakelock, you never made any gold. Your daughter saved up $35 and bought a golden ingot, which she slipped into your crucible when you weren't looking.
It was wrong, I know. But, Father, I meant well.
Sir, are you all right?
Well done, Doctor. You think you can patch things up between myself and my daughter through this trumped-up story? You expect me to believe that she's duped me, that I never made gold? Clumsy, Doctor. Very clumsy. Try again.
I assure you, Mr. Blakelock, your daughter is telling the truth.
Doctor, you're a fool. That wretched girl has wheedled you. In less than a minute, I will turn you out a piece of gold, purer than any the earth produces. Will that convince you?
Yes, that will convince me.
Then watch. Watch the crucible. There's the scum. Now the green and bronze shades flit across it. Oh, the beautiful green. The precursor of the golden red hue that tells of the end attained. Now the golden red is coming. Slowly. Daughter, help me lift this off the fire.
Yes, Father.
The tongs, where are the tongs?
Here.
Now, incredulous doctor, I pour off my solution, and in the bottom of my crucible you will find...
You've done it! The gold is there!
Of course! William Blakelock is no fraud, no dupe. I have succeeded where all others have failed. I have made gold. Father!
Mr. Blakelock! Mr. Blakelock!
What's wrong with him? Help him, Doctor, help him. Father!
Marion, your father is dead. I wonder if the world will ever know what a great scientist he was. He really did produce gold in his crucible.
No.
But I saw the golden ingot.
And I slipped it in the crucible when I gave him the tongs. I couldn't stand the look on his face when you told him the truth, Doctor. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that he died, still believing that he had made gold.
You've just heard Lord Smelchior's favorite story, The Golden Ingot, by Fitzjames O'Brien, with Frank Albertson as Dr. Luxor, Morris Karnofsky as William Blakelock, and Gene Bates as Marion. Sound designs were by Jack Hayes. The musical score was composed and conducted by Claude Sweeten. This was a Lawrence and Lee production. Bullock's proudly originated for the nation. Here is Morris Karnofsky to tell you about next week's favorite story.
James Stewart selected the story you're going to hear at this time next week. It is a great novel by Sir J.M. Barrie, a great play in London and New York, and a great motion picture. The star of the motion picture will play the title role on Favorite Story next Tuesday night. John Beale as the Little Minister.
Janet Waldo will be co-starred as the intriguing and mysterious Babby. I know I'll be listening, and we hope you will, too. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Konofsky. Until then, this is Lyle Bond saying good night to you from Bullock's.